All right, there we go. Got it working finally. We are live here with the Green White Checkered podcast. Today is June 14th, 2021. Joined, as always, by my good buddy Deplorable Me 44, and we got a lot of guests and a lot of stuff to go through today. DP, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, buddy. It's a big show tonight. We got some special guests, like you said. The raffle spin is going to be tonight, and plus a whole lot of championship action that we saw this past week that we got to cover. So, a big night.
Absolutely. So we'll start with the Leading Edge Pro Series like we normally do. The final race of their season will be this Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Back in the Cup Cars at Las Vegas. So we'll be down to the final four that are eligible for the championship. So that is going to be a great race. So everyone make sure that you tune in to this very channel to watch that race. DP, it's going to be a good one. We're going to be fighting for a championship, and I'm sure we'll see some tough racing.
Yeah, no doubt. Had to miss it last week, but I'm really excited to call this finale. Only a few drivers left that have a chance at this thing. And those guys have put on a show all year long when it's for all the marbles, Ryan. I think the show and the pressure is going to be amped up even more. So that's going to be a really good race Wednesday night.
Absolutely. So should be a good one. Make sure everybody tunes in. We will go ahead and go to the paint contest. Tristrand, I think we got you. Hopefully you're still in here. Tell us a little bit about your contest, and we have the winner up on the screen, but we got to figure out who painted that. So maybe somebody in the chat, if you painted it, put it in there so we know who won. Go ahead, Tristrand.
Yeah, so hey, Ryan, good to be here. Basically, the contest was pretty much. I've got the idea from Deplorable's truck paint contest that he did to see what scheme he would run. And mine was basically to have drivers paint the best ARCS car to show their sort of ARCS patriotism, if you would call it. So we had some good submissions, a lot of ones that I really liked. And that one right there is the winner. And they were only able to use ARCS logos I provided. Numbers had to be the number one, so I couldn't tell who did it. And I made sure that I viewed them anonymously. So, Tommy and other admins posted them. And I don't know who won, but that car right there is the one I really liked and is going to be the winner of 20 iRacing dollars or an Xbox credit.
Yeah, it's an awesome thing that you did, and we'll definitely have to do it more often. I know that I was going to put a paint scheme together, but, man, I saw some of those, and I knew there was no way I could compete. So congrats to whoever won, the mystery winner. We will get with Tommy and figure out exactly who painted that, and we will get you your prize as soon as we can. Speaking of prizes, DP, you about ready? Quiet says that was me. I don't know if I believe that or not. I'm going to have to hear that straight from
Actually,
Tommy's
it's me.
mouth.
I don't think it was him, but
I don't think it was cool. We'll get to the bottom of who it was. But DP, it's time for the live raffle. You ready?
I'm ready, buddy. It's going to be really exciting. Can't wait to see who's going to win this thing.
All right, so we have the wheel here, which I will try and make a little bit bigger so y'all can actually sort of see it. So there are all 45 of our numbers, and DP has the list of basically which numbers are assigned to which person. A lot of really cool prizes on the line. So I'm going to come over here and click spin, and away it goes. And the winner is number 40. DP, who's got number 40?
It looks like Quiet is going to be the winner of
Wyatt.
the raffle with that 40th slot.
Unbelievable.
I'm also getting, sorry to interrupt you, I'm also getting clarification that Quiet was the maker of the paint scheme as well.
Oh,
So,
wow.
big night for Quiet.
2 wins in a row, and quite I heard you in here. So, well, we got to ask you, buddy, what are you thinking about getting from the prize pack? Okay, maybe he is.
My God,
There he
I'm just
is.
I wasn't expecting to win at all. Promise.
None of us usually do expect you to win, Quiet, but here you are. So, what you leaning towards? What you think you're gonna get? He's too
I'm
stunned to even talk.
Let's go with the Logitech.
The wheel, the Logitech
Yes.
G923.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, we will touch base with you, and we will get your prize shipped out. So thanks for everybody for participating. It was a lot of fun. So Quiet already had 2 wins so far tonight with the paint contest and the raffle.
Ryan, I gotta
Yes.
say, I did not think that was Quiet with the paint contest because I was in a chat with him earlier. He was like, "Oh, these are some nice cars." He's like, "I like that yellow one. I wonder who made it." He's like,
He tricked us.
maybe I'll submit one later."
Yeah, he
You
pulled.
know, he was playing dumb.
He pulled a fast one on us. So
There you go.
congrats to Quiet on the paint win and on the raffle win. So good job. Speaking of some more fun, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our Season 1 ARCS Award Show ceremony, whatever you want to call it. It is going to be a lot of fun. Make sure that you tune in. We have a bunch of different awards to give out. We'll try and talk to as many of the winners as we possibly can. It's going to be a lot of fun, so just come out and hang out with us and, see if maybe one of your favorite drivers or friends or family won an award for Season 1. It's going to be a lot of fun. It was fun last year. We got to do it with A Squared, and now to take it, basically platform-wide with the entirety of ARCS. It's going to be a lot of fun, DP.
Going to be a blast. Yeah, that's something that you're working for wins and you're working for top 5s and top 10s. These awards kind of show a little bit different side of the guys, and maybe it'll give you some insight to maybe on how some of these guys are. And so it's a really interesting thing. Really cool that we do this, Ryan, and I'm really excited for tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's gonna be a party for sure. So come out and spend some time with us and get to know some of our drivers, some of the ones that maybe you don't get to hear from very often. There's like you said, there's a lot of different categories. We try and kind of make it a vast array of categories. So tomorrow night, now that our Truck Series and Xfinity Series on Heat is over, we're gonna have a little fun and hand out some awards. So can't complain there. Well, I would kick it to you, DP, but this segment this week is geared towards you. So we've been talking to several iRacing guys here and there of kind of their story of how they got going, not just in iRacing, but in gaming, NASCAR gaming as a whole. So this week it's your turn. I know we said we'd get Quiet on here, but we just had so much other stuff going on. We will get Quiet on here next week for sure. But Terry Gabbard, aka Deplorable Me 44, tell us a little bit about your backstory and how you got into iRacing and how you got into NASCAR racing as a whole.
Well, Ryan, I think my story is probably a lot like most other people's stories. Of course, when I was a kid, I was really big into video games. The problem is that we never really had this gen video game. We was always playing N64 when the PlayStation 2 was out, and maybe was playing PlayStation 2 when the PlayStation 3 was out. But when I was about 7 or 8 years old, we was able to get our hands on NASCAR Thunder 2003. I know a lot of people have played that game, and me and my brother loved that game. We loved trying to run 100% races at Richmond until one of us would give up and the other one would be the winner. And then, of course, when I was a kid, we bought Dirt to Daytona, and we were going to beat that, Ryan, in one night. We talked about this last week, I think. We never had memory cards or anything like that. So as long as the game stayed on, we could keep playing. If we turned it off, we had to start from scratch. And so we did that a whole bunch. And then when I got a little bit older, 15, 16 years old, I pretty much quit not only playing a whole bunch of video games, but also I quit watching racing in general. Got all the way out of it for 6 or 7 years. Grew up, got married, had a kid. My dad and his wife had ended up moving back in with us. And when they moved in with us again, I remembered that my dad was a huge NASCAR fan. So I said, well, I guess it's time that, I'm going to get back in this and start watching the races. And I didn't really have any expectations, Ryan. But after that first race we watched at Daytona, and I don't even know how many years ago this has been now, but I was hooked. I was hooked again. It was great being back in that. And then one day I was playing, I got my hands on NASCAR 2008 for the PlayStation 3, I believe. And I played the heck out of that thing against the computer. Just every night I wanted to try to do 150% race and try to, go through the strategy and do all those things. And then, of course, you have situations with responsibilities and all those different things. And that kind of got set on the side just a little bit. And then I bought NASCAR Heat Evolution when it came out for Xbox One. That was not a very good game. I played that maybe once or twice and never played it again. And then when NASCAR Heat 4 came out, I wanted that game and wanted that game and wanted that game. Finally, I was able to find it on sale at a GameStop. I went and picked that up. And as soon as I picked it up, my goal was I was going to start playing online. And then not long after that, this was probably last August, maybe? I'm sorry, this was probably, back in the spring, early spring. And so, started playing that, met you guys probably a couple weeks right after I bought the game. And we started playing and racing, and A Squared was formed, TNT was formed. That got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's kind of turned into ARCs. And then, of course, I like to tell the story this way. One day, Ryan Pinnell got a computer, and the rest is history. Ryan, you got that PC, and I was like, yes, I want to do that too. I kind of had some issues with my wheel for a little bit, was having huge wheel issues, was finally able to get that set up. I got the computer, bought iRacing, and signed up for that first couple months, and it's kind of been off to the races. I'd say it's hit or miss with the iRacing side as far as I'm concerned. I'm definitely not as good on the sim as I am on the game. But each and every week, you can learn new things and learn more things and figure out what drivers around you are going to do, and how those cars react in certain situations. And I think it gets better and better. And that story is a long story, but it kind of got us to where we are today and where we're at right now. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. ARCS has been such an amazing thing that kind of just started out of nothing. And it's been great to be a part of it. And, that's kind of my story.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And we love to hear all the stories of how everyone not just got into iRacing, but, just got into racing NASCAR games as a whole. So we appreciate you sharing your story with us. And we'll get to do a little more racing later tonight. We'll talk about it here in a second. But thank you again for sharing your story.
Absolutely, man. This has been a really great segment. I think we've heard a lot of different stories, but it's funny, Ryan, that a lot of these stories end up the same. There's a couple games. If we look back, there's a couple games that were really big hitters for us growing up, and I think that if it weren't for some of those games that came out, we might not be doing this right now. And so it's kind of funny how things work out.
Absolutely. So there you go, another iRacing Origins, or I guess we could even start calling it just NASCAR game origin, but still a lot really cool to hear all the stories. So we'll try and get quiet on here next week. We were kind of busy with a lot of stuff going on this week, so we'll try and talk to Quiet next week and get his story. So we'll move to ARC's trucks. So the Saturday Night Showdown went to Daytona last Saturday. Jeremy Briault won that one. It was a wild finish. I think Cody Pennell ended up finishing across the line on his roof. Looked a little like Clint Boyer back in the 07 car days, but good win to Jeremy. He's definitely a great iRacer and a really good plate racer as well. But Saturday Night Showdown will continue. There's still several races left on their schedule, but the ARCS 3 on Xbox finished up last Tuesday. Finished it off at Eldora with the season finale. Haha Boog was your race winner, but Boiled Ice took home the title, and I think we have Boiled Ice in here with us. You got a copy, Boiled?
Yes, sir, I do.
There you are. Man, tell us about, I know that I was in that race, and I was, I was not with you in Croton, but I could definitely see y'all, and it was side by side almost every lap. But you brought home the championship. Tell us about it and how you pulled it off.
It was a hard-fought battle the entire race. Pretty much for all 75 laps, me and Croton were next to each other at some point, whether it was same pit strategy or just being in the same incident. We were always next to each other, and the other two in the championship four weren't even seen that much. So it was pretty much just a battle between us two, and it came down to a 20-lap shootout there at the end of us just side by side and battling. And coming out of turn 4, he tried sending it in, of course, as you do, putting a championship on the line, and I just barely managed come across the line by a few thousandths in the lead. So it was an amazing 75-lap long battle, which I'm really glad to have came on top of.
Yeah, well, congrats to you. You are ARCS 3 Season 1 2021 champion. I know it probably still hasn't quite sunk in yet, but that's a pretty big deal around here.
Yeah, it certainly is. I'm really happy that I managed to pull it off. It's crazy.
Well, that was the Truck Series. We will start back July 6th, I believe, is our first race, DP. So we have a little bit of some downtime before we start up Season 2, which I think will be just as exciting as the first season was.
Yeah, no doubt. We saw a whole bunch of great racing in that Truck Series. And one of the things about this, Ryan, is that a lot of those ARCS 3 guys, they're going to be moving up to ARCS 2 in the Xfinity Series. And so the Truck Series will continue to heat up with new talent. And this talent that was new is going to be a little bit more experienced in the ARCS ladder, and they'll be moving up to Xfinity, and that's going to make that race even more exciting. And so big things are on the horizon for ARCS. Big win for Boiled Ice. These guys are part of the reason, well, these guys are the main reason why ARCS succeeds, and we appreciate every time these guys show up to race, they show up to win. Boiled Ice did that Tuesday night.
Absolutely. And speaking of Xfinity, move on to ARCS 2, official term, also now known as Term V. Not only won the race, but took home the championship. They ran at Iowa, another really good race, a lot of clean racing, and I cannot see Discord, so hopefully Term is in here. You got a copy, Term?
I'm here.
He's here. Man, tell us about not only your first win of the season in the Xfinity Series, but you brought home that championship. Man, that's a big deal here at ARCS to win a title.
Yeah, man. All season has been neck and neck between me and Nifty. He's been driving it hard all season. Credit. I didn't think I would win it, but Iowa, I ran it a couple times in the league race, and I knew what I had planned going into the race. But the whole race, it was a neck and neck battle between me, Nifty, Boss, and DP. won the first stage. It was kind of a momentum there. I got it going. Didn't do good in the second stage. Just kind of fell off in the second. Third stage is where it really kicked it in. Green flag pit stops. Nifty was about 2-3 seconds behind me coming on green flag pit stop, so I stayed out one extra lap to see if I can gain on them. Come out, and surprisingly, I had about a 4-second lead on them, and I just kept pushing the gap further and further up. Then championship was mine after that. It was awesome, though. It was a great racing between me and Nifty. I loved it. It was fun.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to watch also. So that was a good race. DP, I know you were in that race too. It's really cool to see these guys and girls, you know, in ARCS 3 and ARCS 2, not only run so hard and try and win, but be so respectful to each other, you know, and race clean. I mean, you can't ask for anything better than that.
Absolutely. I'd say that we might have had 10 cautions in ARCS 2 all season long. Those guys were absolutely clean from start to finish of the season. And Term V, what a big win from him. We just talked a few weeks ago about Term winning his first ARCS race, and now he is the Xfinity champion. I'd hate to say that he came out of nowhere because he really didn't. Term V has always been one of those fast competitors, but you know, sometimes you can find your groove, you can find your rhythm. Term V got hot when it counted. He's going to be your winner at Iowa and your season 1 champion. Great for him.
Yep, absolutely. So we will start back our ARCS 2 competition on July 6th as well for Season 2. The trucks and the Xfinity Series will run on the same night. So they will both run on Tuesday nights starting in Season 2, trying to consolidate a little bit of our racing. So that will be not only good for the fans, you'll get a doubleheader every night, but good for the drivers as well. It'll free up Friday nights for a few of these drivers. So that's going to be a lot of fun in Season 2, so stay tuned for that to start up. Another champion was crowned in TNT, and it wasn't because the season ended, DP. It was because Marshmallow has now mathematically clinched the championship, and please tell me if I'm wrong, but I do think that is the case after his win at the Charlotte Roval. The kid's just dominating this season, and it's not even over yet.
Yeah, I do believe that's the case. Marshborough has been absolutely dominant. We went to my track, Ryan, the Charlotte Roval. I was so confident, and I tried everything in my power to hold that dude off. I was successful once or twice, but when it really mattered, Marsh does what he always does. He made the right decision. He was able to get around me. I saw that firsthand, and he wins that Charlotte Roval race. I don't know how many that makes as far as wins in TNT, but he is absolutely dominant over there. I have such a great time racing him, but it can be frustrating. You try so hard to get up to the front and do what you can, and Marshmallow just makes it look effortless. He is an incredible racer. He's done a great job in TNT. I'll be looking forward to next season. I'm going to have something for him.
There you go. So Marshmallow locks up the title, and the season still not even over yet. So that just shows how fast that kid is. And if he wasn't racing, working, we'd have him on the podcast. But maybe we can get him on here one Monday when he's not working or out and about. So we'll move on to the A Squared Cup series. We ran our all-star race at Auto Club. Crotom got the win there, but DP, I would have to say that was the most fun I've had racing in a long time.
Yeah, and I would encourage the fans to go back and watch that race. It is on this channel. You can go back and watch that from start to finish. SKD and Nick Pressey were on the call, and man, we were 3 wide, 4 wide. You guys, you had guys making holes that didn't even exist, Ryan. And it was just incredible racing from start to finish. I wish I could have done a little bit better, but you was hoping for some for some fuel saving that almost went your way just for a late race caution, and that could have been totally different.
Yeah, I think that was a jab at me when you said there were drivers making holes that didn't even exist. But yeah, I definitely tried to play the fuel mileage card a little bit, and it got me I guess the win, not really a win, but we threw a competition caution lap 25 of 50, so halfway, and I was able to save enough to make it, and actually really helped me because everybody else came down pit road with me, so it actually really helped my track position. So yeah, I just fell a little short. Croton was really fast. Shout out to Suicideways in the 3 car. I'm telling you, man, I pushed him as hard as I could coming to the start finish line. Just wasn't quite enough time though. So Croton gets him another win. Wins 1,500 Jerpy bucks. Not sure what that can buy him. Maybe a Snickers wrapper or two. But good job to Croton. The kid's fast everywhere we go.
Yeah, Croton absolutely dominant. Between him and Marsh, those guys, they could start a league by themselves, and they probably do well. Those guys just bang and battle with each other all the time. They're always up at the front. We're going to have to figure out a way to get around these guys and stay around them, Ryan. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't either. I think I'm just going to give up. It's probably the best option for me. But
Would be a lot less disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll move on to ARC's Monday Night Lightning. Obviously, you can see we are live from iRacing Super Speedway, one of the biggest and baddest super speedway on the planet. Obviously a virtual track, not a real track. If it was, man, it'd be a scary track to race at, DP. But this is it. This is an all-star race tonight. We do want to send a congrats to Jeremy for his win at Sonoma. That makes he's now 2 for 2 on the season. So we know Jeremy's fast, but he's proven it week in and week out. But really, the main story is tonight's race, DP. The Open will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will consist of any and all truck drivers, Saturday Night Showdown truck drivers that are able to participate, that don't have other plans. That will start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There will be no practice, no qualifying. The lobby basically will be set up random for the starting order. It will be a 20-lap dash. Drivers will have 2 fast repairs, and caution laps will not count. So that's a big deal here, because if you get in a caution, DP, you know as good as I do, it could take 3 or 4 laps off of the racing time. So it will be really interesting, because you'll have to, the caution laps are not going to count. So it's really going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of guys trying to get in. Now, obviously, the top 3 will make it in, and then we will have 1 fan vote, and that will be on our good buddy Rick James platform. So twitch.tv/RickJamesTV1. Make sure you watch. Make sure you vote. If you have a favorite driver, get them in that main. And DP, I think you might actually be in the Open. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna try my hand. I have a really good feeling how it's gonna turn out for me. But definitely gonna take the opportunity. Gonna try out a new number tonight that I don't think the fans have seen. I'll be in the 29 Ford, running an old Kevin Harvick scheme, a Goodrich scheme, and so I'm excited for that car. I'm excited for this race. iRacing Super Speedway sets out to prove that bigger is better. I don't think anybody would be willing to take one of those NASCARs around it in real life if it did exist, but you put us on a game and we are definitely willing to try. So we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. And then, of course, after the All-Star Open, we will then move on to the main race, which all Monday Night Lightning Cup drivers are eligible for. We will have a 10-minute qualifying session that will be open, so you will not see just one car at a time. They will all go out on the track at once. If they want to team up with other partners, other teammates, other racers, they are more than able to do that to try and get a fast lap. And then we will go into the race. It'll be a 40-lap feature, 10 laps for the first stage, 10 laps for the second stage, and then 20 laps for the main final stage. In the third stage, drivers must come down pit road. They have to at least stop in their box. They do not have to get tires. They do not have to get fuel if they don't want to, but they do have to stop in their box under green flag conditions, not under yellow. And same caution rules as the open. The caution laps will not count. There will be 3 fast repairs, so it's going to be one hell of a show. Y'all make sure you tune in. As soon as the open is over, we'll get the lobby set up for the main, get that qualifying going as quick as we can, and it will be straight into iRacing, super speedway, full throttle racing. I'm excited. I know everybody, all the fans at home, you don't want to miss this. It's going to be a hell of a show.
It's going to be a great show indeed, and don't forget that fan vote. So for the open, people watching, they're going to have the opportunity to vote their driver in, and so that'll be really cool too. Something for the fans to a little bit interact.
Yeah, love to get the fans involved. I mean, as Rick James always says, we can't do this without the fans. I mean, otherwise it's just a bunch of drivers running around a racetrack. So the fans is what makes this special to not only the drivers but the broadcasting crew and the admins, the race controls, everyone. So it's going to be a wild and crazy night, that's for sure. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully everyone at home is looking forward to it as well. We'll go ahead and move on now to this week's NASCAR news. Obviously, All-Star Racing from Texas on the Cup side. And Kyle Larson again shows how talented he is, DP. It's pretty amazing how he can make just about any car with 4 tires and wheels on it. He just makes it fly.
Yeah, I mean, he's winning off the track. He's even winning off the track. He qualified on the pole for that race, Ryan, and they didn't even have qualifying. He won the random draw. And so Kyle Larson is incredibly talented. I think Hendricks has got it locked up as far as these Chevys are concerned. That team as a whole is bad fast. And I almost feel like I'm saying the same things I said last week, Ryan, and that's probably because he keeps winning and winning and winning. It's shades of Kyle Busch a few years ago when he won all those races, and when you do it over and over, one right after the other, he's just racking them up, and he's on fire. One of the things that would concern me about this, Ryan, is that, we've seen this before. Drivers get hot, and then sometimes they cool down. I'm not saying that's the case with Kyle Larson, but we're hoping that, if you're a Chevy fan, if you are a Kyle Larson fan, you're hoping that he can stay hot going into these playoffs, and that team and that driver doesn't lose steam going in there.
Absolutely, and also the Xfinity and truck guys were at Texas as well. I believe John Hunter Nemechek won the truck race, and then Kyle Busch won the Xfinity race. No surprise there, but overall a good weekend of racing. Texas definitely proved to have some battles out there, so it was really fun to watch and really cool to see Kyle Larson get that big check.
Absolutely. Another win for Kyle Busch, and he's starting to cherish those wins a little bit, Ryan. That 18 isn't getting him like he used to. He's not just marking them off on the calendar. And so I think that Kyle Busch is starting to cherish those wins, cherish those good finishes a little bit. So as much as I hate to say it, but shout out to him for getting another win.
Yeah, he's fast, definitely. I mean, he's got good equipment and fast race cars, so All right, we'll move on here. We're almost just at 35 minutes here, so we'll go through this real quick. This week in ARCS, obviously the ARCS 3 and ARCS 2 NASCAR Heat Truck and Xfinity Series are now complete for Season 1. So they will not be racing this week. Obviously, Monday Night Lightning tonight will be at iRacing Super Speedway for our All-Star race. A Squared is actually off this week, so they will not run this Sunday. TNT is racing, I believe it's Texas for the All-Star, but DP told me that, so if I'm wrong, it's his fault. And then, of course, Saturday Night Showdown this Saturday, they will be racing at Nashville Super Speedway. That's a new track that iRacing brought in with the last update, so I've run some practice on there, a concrete track, and man, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy running it, but I think that'll see some really good racing as well. So a little bit of a slower week, DP, now that we're kind of coming to the end of Season 1 for some of the Xbox side of things, but iRacing's still going strong.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a slower week, but Friday night, 8 p.m., I want to make sure that the fans know this is going on. ENEA versus ARCS. 3 races to determine a winner. We've put together 2 10-man teams. We're going to have a little bit of friendly rivalry. Rick James is going to be broadcasting that, so make sure you check that out at 8 o'clock. It's not going to be 1 or 2 races, but 3 shorter races, and then we will calculate the points and find out a winner, and all of that is going to go to a good charity. So make sure that you tune in for there and watch that race, because that's going to be an incredible display of talent Friday night, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that is going to be a blast, and for a good cause. So you may remember we actually faced ENEA in the Fast Family tournament back last year. Honestly, DP, the way ENEA and ARCS is ran, we are very, very similar leagues. A lot of just good people trying to be a part of the family, a part of the community, and just wanting to have good fun racing. So I know I'm extremely excited about that. Should be a lot of fun, and can't wait to see what we can do there.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. We had to face them last time, I believe, on a road course. And so we're going to steer clear of the turning right that night. But other than that, we picked some really good tracks, some really good side-by-side racing. And there's going to be some strategy involved to try to get through these races and rack up the most points that you possibly can. And so super excited.
Yep, should be a blast. Well, that's going to just about do it for us here. Another podcast in the books. Again, shout out to Quiet for winning not only the paint contest, but the ARCS raffle as well. That was a lot of fun with some really cool prizes to choose from. Looks like he has decided to go with the Logitech G923 wheel. So I will reach out to him and we'll make sure he gets his prize. That's about it for us.
Yeah, I'm excited for tonight's race, excited for this week's racing. It's going to be an incredible week, but yes, another podcast has come and gone. It's been a whole lot of fun, a whole lot of guests that we've talked to. Congratulations to Boiled Ice, Term Veed. They can now call themselves champ. And it's going to be great at iRacing Super Speedway tonight. Rick James, TV1, do not miss it.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast for sure. So that's going to do it for myself and DP. Another podcast in the history books. Until we see y'all the next